will definitely be another full day of eating, maybe another 2 full days of eating over these next few days pre-show, plus a grocery trip, because I'm going to be in need of some very specific things. I'm going to be in need of, just as a little bit of a kind of teaser, some sweets. I am going to have a couple of gummy-based sort of things. Nothing too potentially stomach upsetting. Like, I've got room for 150 grams of carbs of something. I'm probably not going to do sour gummy worms because all the like extra malic acid or citric acid or whatever would kind of make me feel a little something or other. But maybe maybe a Mike and Ike's. Box of Mike and Ike's is going to feel pretty good Thursday night pre-show. But that's not the majority of my carbs. The majority of the carbs that I'm going to be carbing up with is going to be plain, either lightly salted or unsalted rice cakes in tandem with some full sugar jelly with some cream of rice, things along that nature. Like, if I'm going to eat 1,000 grams of carbs, it's going to be more than that, but let's say if it's 1,000 grams of carbs, probably 750 of those are going to be just from, rice cakes and some jelly and some cream of rice and things like that, with like maybe some brown sugar kind of like piled on top. What you'd basically call just super basic carbs, and a couple of treats as well. Definitely going to have probably a pint, maybe 2 pints of just pure sugar. What's the word? It's not sorbet, or is it sorbet? Sherbet? But gelato, I don't know. Whichever one is just straight up, frozen fruit juice, without fats, without anything. Like 1,000 calories worth of fats isn't gonna do me any good for carbing up. It's literally in the word, right? Carb. It's a carb up. So that's what that's gonna look like. So it'll be a very different grocery trip than I've been used to. Which, crap. It has been quite a while since this diet started. Goodness, what was it? Back in August? So August, freaking September, November, October, December. I know I said this backwards, but yeah, man. 6 months, just about 6 months of legit dieting. Obviously, the diet started slow, and then I kind of ramped my way up in terms of extra cardio and being more strict with the food, and now it's led us here. So no one day in particular was particularly drastic in terms of any changes. I could go back in time over these last 6 months, pick any one day and just like completely retcon it. It didn't even happen, and I'd still be right where I am now. And I think some people could look at a situation like that where, what's one day? You can take any day and just like disappear. It doesn't really matter. If I took one chest day out of my, period of time that I've been working out, and it just never happened, or I made it a rest day, I'd be exactly where I am now. So, if you see that and think, what's one day? That's a sort of twisting of the situation to make it seem like you should, take it a little bit easier. The way I look at it is more so, all right, shit, one day is so inconsequential and small that I better not miss any, because I want them to accumulate as, largely and as quickly as possible. So if you're not going to notice a big change after a day or after a week or after 2 weeks, I think that's even more reason to try to stick to it even harder, because then you actually kind of understand, like, all right, shit, this is going to take a while. The guys who can't wrap their heads around the fact that it's going to take a while often won't even start. Not even, not to mention they may give up halfway through, but it's something where if you just can't play the long game like that and like be satisfied with knowing you're just on track with making progress, instead of thinking that you have to reach a specific end goal state to be happy about yourself. The two mentalities, I'd say, are night and freaking day. And usually you can tell who's who, just by seeing where everybody's at. But today's going to be a little bit more chill, just shoulders. And even when I say just shoulders, it's just going to be side and rear delts. And it's not going to take that much. Like, this might even just be 4 sets of rear delts, 4 sets of side delt lateral raises, and then a little pose down, So the stakes are low in terms of the lift. The trickier part is going to be the 45 minutes of cardio afterward, and then the 45 minutes of cardio tonight, as well as not overdoing it with my food intake. That's the hard part right now, which, luckily enough for me, so far I've been able to stick to pretty well. So just one day freaking closer. But how about nothing else to say? Let's just get this shoulder pump started. All right, this is not really the coolest movement, but in terms of something that actually squeezes your rear delts, it's pretty freaking good. So I'm standing here facing the cable, 4 feet away or something, and I'm kind of gonna turn to the opposite side. So I'm doing the right rear delt, so I'm gonna turn a little to the left, and this is it. Like, I'm actually not even a little, I guess I'm turning a lot to the left, but all I'm doing is trying to send firing signals right back here. I guess it'd be easier to show it on this side, to the back of my shoulder. And this is all it is, like just that little something. So it's not like a whole across, reverse pec deck kind of rep. But if I do 5 reps alternating, right, left, my rear delts will be kind of pumped up and burning. So I'd recommend trying it, even just as a warm-up. Really, I'm just doing this because I don't want to start with anything heavy, because I'm gonna do bent over dumbbell lateral raises next, and those are a little more kind of like tension heft focus. So this is more of like that light squeezing equivalent, if you feel me. But just as like a rear delt rotator cuff warm-up, this is good too. Like, doing this before chest has helped me not have crunchy shoulders over the last it's kind of crazy to say, over the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, when was the last time you heard me complain about my shoulders? Not a lot. So let's get real here. One more. All right, I can definitely do more than 5. Let's do 10 for the next one. But rear delts, they're starting to fire. That one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do some bent over lateral now. Just from a feeler rep, the 40s is about right. If I go too heavy, especially right now, and I mean, just in general, if you go too heavy on this movement, you're just going to end up doing your traps and like turning into an upper back like row. Like that's not what I want. Same thing with those cable single arm things I just did. I want my shoulder joint to just stay in the same spot. It can move around a little, but for the most part, I want it to stay still and then just have my arm be rolling around it, you know? So I want this entire system of everything completely independent except for just my rear delt firing. And I think the 40s is heavy enough I'll feel it, but not so heavy I'll start using accessory muscle groups. All right. Ta. Ta. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. One more of those. Then we do side delts. Definitely a shorter day today. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Ooh. All right, shit, I may have even overdone it with those. Let's do some seated side laterals. I think that'll be a good change up. Haven't done that for a while. Yeah. 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 Okay. Holy crap. Yeah. 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 Okay, that's good. Ooh, two more just like that. This is going to be a good pose now, I guarantee it. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right, let's grab the side delt machine, and I think that'll be freaking it. Yeah, let's hit this and then see how we're freaking looking. So, like I've been saying, I just need a badass pump, and I think this guy will do the trick. Yeah. 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 Okay. That's all. Let's see how we're looking. All right, so I set a timer. That 8 set Shoulder workout took 32 and a half minutes. So not too long. And honestly, the density of that, let's just say the density of that pump was quite high. So I'm just saying, like, you know, my level of pumped currently compared to the volume of the workout is a very strong ratio, if you sort of feel what I'm saying. Let me go a little. Yeah, there we go. Freaking perfect. But just a little bit of like a kind of a teaser when I was getting this lighting set up and just poking the shoulder out. Yeah, man, we are cooking with freaking something. That's for sure. But let's see how they're looking actually fully freaking exposed. So, still walking around at a flat upper 220s, and that's about where I want to be. So, the check-in day, once I kind of pull my water, I'll drop like probably 5 pounds-ish, maybe 4, I don't know, something like that. I'll be under that 227 range for sure. So I'm not like concerned with, you know, making sure I make weight or anything. Really, that weight loss of water pulling is more visual, or at least more visually motivated than it is, you know, to actually like make, you know, my check-in weight and everything. I'm already right about there, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But let's just run through some stuff here. Yeah, I mean, even just standing, shoulders pumped, they're unproportional to everything else now. So that's why I don't do shoulders a ton, is just simply the fact that they're already, you know, pretty freaking developed. And I want my arms and chest to catch up. But the fact that they only seem out of place when they're pumped is a good thing. Because then, unpumped, they're a little more proportional. But let's start with the left side. Yeah. I mean, not even, like, just standing and then having those fucking veins creeping across my my shoulder, not to mention all these ones like freaking swirling around my freaking back. Yeah, it's just freaking cool. But let's do a little side tricep first. Oh man. Yeah, so I tell you something, shoulders are feeling good. The fact that I'm seeing like this really strong separation of like bicep, brachialis, tricep, and then everything else. Plus, I mean, you know, I'm no Rolly Winkler, but that's a little bit of tricep feathering, you know, not a ton, but just a little, like this side to side texture. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I think nothing else to say. That puts me, this is legit 1 week out. So let's get home, get my cardio finished, and then, shit, man, 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days before we freaking know it's going to be showtime. Let's just make that shit happen. That's what I call a shoulder pump. That's what I call some delt destruction. That's what I call some deltoid schmeltoids, or whatever combination of that actually sounds cool. That was good. So yeah, now it's time for the not as fun part, which is going home and getting my 45 minutes of cardio done on the tread. I've got a little walk mill where it's like just like an Amazon treadmill. There's no handle attachment. It's just like the floor section. But the seated bike is just too good. And by seated bike, I mean the recumbent bike. You know, put it on difficulty 9, difficulty 10-ish, usually 9 though, and then just get into the groove. And depending on what you're watching, or how like invested you can get into like a show or a game or a movie or whatever, the 45 minutes passes like nothing, you know? and they have added up for sure. But yeah, if I can get into like a little bit of a, podcast Clash Royale groove, shit, man, time passes quick. Time passes freaking quick. So if you're gonna do cardio, I can recommend one tip, and that's not to check the time. Cover the screen with a towel, maybe a clipboard, anything. Don't look at the time on your phone, or like somehow like block the top corner of your screen so that you don't accidentally see it, because the last thing you want to do is start counting the minutes. As soon as you do that first check and you peek behind your hoodie to see how long the timer's been going on the bike, and it only says like 4 minutes, you've already failed. You've already screwed yourself. If I don't check the time and it's already been like 30 minutes, that's usually pretty good. But even if it does kind of feel like time's dragging along, what are you going to do? Stop? You're already on the bike. You're already pedaling. You may as well actually make it freaking happen. I wish I had a cooler way to measure like how much cardio I've done, like a bowl of marbles or something, and each marble represents an hour, or like beads of, or like grains of rice or something in a little bottle. I don't know, I think that might be kind of cool, just as like a little thing to add up, or like get a bunch of coins and put them in a jar where every quarter represents an hour. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, so I am feeling rather good. I'm definitely gonna enjoy my post-workout meal. I'm gonna have a big ass slab of turkey, probably paired with some sugar-free barbecue sauce, and probably just a couple of rice cakes. That'll plain, nothing too crazy or anything, but it does hit the spot, especially when you've been dieting for a little while. Like right now, my sensitivity for enjoyment of meals is very high. So like the amount that I can enjoy just ground beef and sugar-free barbecue sauce right now is much higher than in an off season when I've got treats on the menu. So yeah, oh man, my mouth's freaking watering just thinking about the carb up come Thursday night. It's getting freaking closer. It is getting freaking close, that's for sure. So I think nothing else to say. A little bit of a quicker kind of shoulder check-in. Let's just keep making this shit happen. So I'll see you for whatever goes down tomorrow.